So I just finished watching War Machine on Netflix, and it was pretty good. And no, it's not a Marvel dude. I don't know. It's not Marvel related. I just saw when I looked it up. I don't know anything Marvel. Sorry. The only Marvel thing I know is Marvel Rivals, and I don't know, like, all I know is Spider-Man. Okay, like I don't know what any of those dudes do, to be honest with you. Yeah, but it was a pretty good movie. Once upon a time in a faraway land of the earth, if Sue was sitting down in the living room. She's got food in front of her. She's scrolling down Netflix. You know, when you hover over a show, it shows like a little trailer sometimes. I watched it for a little bit. I was like, low-key, it looked like those very like super scuffed ones like I've seen from, like, I forget what those websites are, but like those free ones, and then they have like pretty shitty, I'm sorry to say, but show or like movies, and like the audios are pretty fucking shitty too, so it's like, and then you still get ads, whatever, that kind of thing. It looked pretty scuffed from the trailers. I was like, and acting kind of looked cringy from the trailers, all I've seen, not gonna lie, but whatever. I personally wouldn't clicked on it, but yeah, I wasn't watching it all by myself, so I kind of had a little I was peer pressured. So at first I wasn't really sure who the main character was. It didn't really start off as, oh, there's this dude. But no, they started off as they're like in a military or whatever, and they were giving out like numbers to these people, whoever the best gets to join the military. Pretty much they give out their numbers, which is basically their names. They don't really have names, all they have is numbers apparently. And then there's this dude, and he's pretty old, and he's our main dude, you know, he's a main character. Turns out he's been wanting to go to this military. He's been wanting to join, and eventually we find out that he's actually a big shot. Like, he's actually had military training before already, and he's been on actual missions before. But then we find out that he also, on his very recent one, he got like traumatized, and everybody pretty much died. It's like freaking Sasuke and the Uchiha, bro. Like, everybody got murked, and he was the only one alive. And he's like freaking traumatized from that. And then he, like, every day, like, he can't sleep, and he has trouble sleeping because all he ever think of is that. And he always gets like, he's very, very traumatized from that. He literally has straight up PTSD, and the show just keeps going on and on and on about that. Not the show, the movie. Whoops. Long story short, this went by really, really fast, which, you know, it makes sense because honestly I forgot the title was War Machine, not gonna lie. I forgot everything about that. So I was just like, oh, okay, this dude is in the military. So I generally thought that the whole movie is just like about him. He wants to cross the finish line is what his line is, and it's also IDFQ. Those are one of his slogans. His Naruto words, basically, which stands for I don't fucking quit. So yeah, that's basically sums up about the whole movie for you. It's low-key kind of cringe, but I feel like the main character makes up for it because he just, I don't know, like, he's a pretty likable person, like the actor, I feel like, in general. And he's kind of... Anyways, so final challenge starts. And this is where you're actually like, oh, I'm actually gonna pay attention now, because this is fun. Like, I love shit like this where it's like obstacles and like tests. I love that type of shit. That was like one of my favorite thing in Naruto. That was one of my favorite thing in My Hero Academia. It's fun, okay? Basically, this whole final test, it's basically like they're basically gonna try to fight their teacher. Not physically fight, but they have to like be stealthy enough and not be caught by their teacher. That's the whole thing, basically. They were given like little toy guns and stuff. Like, it's like a toddler but for like military stuff. So like the kind of stuff that they would do if they were actually in this scenario. But obviously it's very like, it's toddler difficulty because it's, you know, they're not actually. But anyways, so their whole goal is to basically to get to this certain place without getting caught. And that's pretty much it. And then they get the badge, and then they get to go in and part of the military crew. So they were on this helicopter, and they got dropped off into this forest area, which is where their trial is supposed to take place into. And then eventually they ran into this weird looking thing who basically Optimus primed into a giant freaking robot. And they were like, huh? What is that? They never mentioned anything about this. And then that giant freaking robot started like scanning shit. And then they were all just like standing there and looking at the robot like, what is this robot doing? What are these red lasers doing? I'm gonna stand here and watch. See what happens. And well, bro just pulled out freaking rockets and lasers and started shooting everybody who got scanned. And then everybody freaking dies. And there's only like a couple people left. I don't freaking know. I didn't count who were left. I was low-key still like not really into the movie. I was just like, this is kind of dumb. And the people who survived all fell down into this mountain and somehow they lived. But they're all incredibly injured. And there's this one dude that's basically like super duper injured. They have to basically carry him because his leg is just like broken and he can't walk. So they had two guys carry him the whole time. And then they had no choice but to cross this river. And this river is like super duper crazy. The current is really fast. And our main character is like, no, we have to cross this river. And the rest of his team are like, okay, dude, like, how? And then this main character dude, he freaking jumps. Okay, first though, first he ties up a rope on his waist, and he jumps to the river. And everybody's like, okay, our one dude who like kind of has a plan and knows where to go and stuff like that, our freaking leader, he just fucking jumped off. And everybody's sitting there like, just waiting. waiting. There's like climax, which is like so freaking like funny to see because you don't get, but then obviously since he's our main character, he lives somehow. He gets to the other side, he holds on to the rock somehow with an incredible grip, and then he got himself up. He just did it. It didn't show how he did it, but he just did it. And everybody's like, oh, he did it! Wow! Okay, and then he got to the other side. You know, he got the rope and everything, and they're gonna cross it using the rope. Okay, but keep in mind, you guys, we have one dude who they have to carry because he can't walk. And he's sometimes cautious, sometimes unconscious. You know, he's basically like already there, you know what I mean? Anyway, so what they do is they put that guy first and they put him in a rope with another dude. I'm sorry for that dude. They set him up for failure, not gonna lie. He's a trooper, so he took one for the team. He crossed first and it ended up getting stuck, and well, they ended up having to spend so much time trying to get this dude unstuck until the robot comes and finds them. Lo and behold, the robot comes and finds them, and they're all pretty much stuck on the rope trying to get the injured dude's rope unstuck. They're in the middle of this river and they get shot. Some of the dudes at the back that were waiting just freaking died. Most of the people who lived are on the rope that fell down because the rope got shot, and now they're all pretty much getting carried away by this river with super strong current. And we were basically just cracking at this point. We were fucking cracking up and being like, you guys are freaking dumb. You guys are dumb. These people are dumb. Why? Why they didn't just crack the freaking rope and then do the last dude, the injured dude, do him last? He's injured. or better yet, just, I'm sorry y'all, but he's passed out. He's unconscious. Let's just freaking leave him, okay? We can't be running away from this freaking robot while having to carry this guy. Hello? If they just left this dude, most of these people probably wouldn't have fucking died, bro. I don't know what to say. Unreal. They go down the river, and eventually it led to a waterfall, and then they end up going down the waterfall, successfully escaping the robot, but the other dudes died, of course. If they just put the freaking dude on the bed, like if they could just put that dude like on the freaking river, because apparently for some reason this injured guy, like, he's staying afloat on the river and he's being chilling while everybody else is basically fighting for their lives. Like, this dude is being chilling, he's unconscious, floating, and gets to the freaking what? They all fall down the river, and this guy, this injured freaking dude, is still being chilling. He's somehow remained floating the whole time. And then he like freaking wakes up and is like, huh? And that was when I was actually paying attention. That actually got my attention, got me actually looking, got me freaking screaming at the top of my lungs. I was cracking up, bro. I can't breathe. That was one of the funniest fucking part ever. But basically, long story freaking short, after that, obviously the fucking robot, they made the robot like fucking OP, bro. Actually OP. Like, they can't shoot it, bullet just ricochets. Like, what do you do? They tried fire, nothing happens. Yeah, crazy. And then there's this little fucking scene where the tank is literally cut in half, and and everybody just fucking died. Everybody's dead, even the freaking driver, and the only thing that's left is our main character and that injured freaking dude. And that injured freaking dude, he's still dangling. Like, he's got the freaking rope, and I don't know what they did. They like fucking tied it up to the front of the tank, and then like it was, dude is literally unconscious, like sleeping. He's literally on the floor, and he's getting carried by this tank. How is this guy still alive? This freaking robot started shooting everybody, okay? That's how everybody's dead, okay? And somehow this guy laying on this deathbed still survives, bro. I don't know what to say. Everybody else is dead. Even the driver is fucking dead, and he still ends up surviving. So at the end, it's that injured dude, somehow still alive, by the way. He's still breathing, he's still able to talk, and he had like a little sentimental moment with the main character, and they lived happily ever after. I barely paid attention to the movie, okay? There was I don't know if I remembered all the freaking plots. If you guys want to watch it, it's on Netflix. It's called War Machine. Yeah. Also, sorry for the spoilers.